I'm f***ing fuming. Tell me why our government thinks illegal immigrants deserve a place to live more than you.
When illegal immigrants arrive in Britain, they're often placed in free hotels, offered housing, and given services that many of our own people struggle to get.
The Britain I grew up in was the most peaceful, the most gentle, homogenous society destroyed by Tony Blair and New Labour. They were going to rub the noses of the whites in the dirt.
Saturday was another record for Labour. 1,000 people entered the UK illegally on small boats.
It means that hundreds of illegal migrants are going to escape automatic deportation.
In 2003, Keir Starmer won the case that gave illegal migrants access to UK benefits. 20 years later, we're living in the chaos he created.
Illegal immigration, a topic the media tiptoes around, but working-class Brits are shouting about it loud and clear. Hospitals overwhelmed, housing in crisis, jobs disappearing, and meanwhile, illegal migrants are being handed hotels, benefits, and priority treatment. The government claims they're getting tough, but all we see are open borders and empty promises. Today on Brit Rants, we dive into the TikTok rage, where people are done staying silent. If you're sick of being put last in your own country, you're not alone. Hit subscribe and join the noise. It's time to rant.
Two-tier Keir's done it again. Sentences for immigration offenders are about to get watered down under new guidelines by the Sentencing Council approved by Labour's Ministry of Justice. It means that hundreds of illegal migrants are going to escape automatic deportation every single year. I raised the alarm. I even produced a bill that would have stopped this. But what did Labour do? They voted down the bill. It means that our borders are going to get blown even further apart. Under this Labour government, the only people who seem to benefit are trade unionists, criminals being let out early from prison, and illegal migrants.
In 2003, Keir Starmer won the case that gave illegal migrants access to UK benefits. 20 years later, we're living in the chaos he created. We're preparing for wars we may never fight, while thousands illegally cross our borders every month with full legal protection. This isn't defence, it's surrender.
I'm f***ing fuming. Tell me why our government thinks illegal immigrants deserve a place to live more than you. Because that's exactly what's happening. A new scheme is being rolled out, offering landlords financial incentives to rent their properties to illegal immigrants. Meanwhile, ordinary British citizens are priced out, locked out, left on waiting lists and abandoned. Veterans sleeping rough, ignored. Families squeezed by insane rents, ignored. Young people who can't even dream of getting on the property ladder, ignored. But cross our borders illegally? Boom! The government finds you a nice place to stay, funded by your taxes. This isn't kindness. This isn't compassion. This is f***ing betrayal. This is a deliberate effort to replace loyalty with dependency, to reward those who break the law while crushing the very people who built this country. And what does f***ing Labour do? They don't just look the other way, they actively enable it. They're selling us out, not by accident, but by design. If you're tired of being treated like second-class citizens in your own country, if you're tired of watching our leaders prioritise everyone except us, then welcome to news, views and uncomfortable truths. We don't sugarcoat reality, we rip the mask off. Stay with us, because the real fight is only just beginning.
When illegal immigrants arrive in Britain, they're often placed in free hotels, offered housing, and given services that many of our own people struggle to get. But ask yourself this, if you or I were to go to a different country, would we be offered the same treatment? Would we be welcomed with free accommodation, food, and legal support? No, we'd be detained, deported, or even worse. So why is it that our own people, veterans, the homeless, families struggling to survive, why is it that we are left behind in our own country? Now, this is not about hate. It's about fairness. It's about equality and standing up for what's ours. It's about asking, when did putting Britain last become acceptable? When did standing up for your own people become something that you're not allowed to say? It's about time to speak up, not out of division, but out of unity and bringing each other together. This is about putting the British people first, in Britain, in our own country. Just as Donald Trump is putting the Americans first, making sure the Americans are okay. Britain needs balance. Britain needs a backbone. And most importantly, Britain needs us.
The Britain I grew up in was the most peaceful, the most gentle, homogenous society that has ever existed. Why we did not need identity cards, why there are extraordinarily low levels of crime, such high levels of public trust. That has been destroyed. It has been deliberately destroyed by Tony Blair and New Labour with this absurd notion that they were going to force us to become multi-ethnic for our good. They were going to rub the noses of the whites in the dirt. And sorry, we've got to understand that. It is an act of such inconceivable national self-harm.
Saturday was another record for Labour. 1,000 people entered the UK illegally on small boats. That's another 1,000 hotel rooms we've got to find. That's another 1,000 NHS places we've got to find. That's another 1,000 people we've got to heat. That's another 1,000 people we've got to feed. That's another 1,000 people of benefits, just for one day. It's becoming unsustainable. We're becoming a laughing stock. And Keir Starmer saying he's going to smash the GANs to stop this. This guy can't smash a glass. He took away any deterrent with the Rwanda plan, which was working, as admitted by the Irish Prime Minister, because they all started to come to Ireland in fear of going to Rwanda. So he's took away that. He took away the Bibi Stockholm. He's admitted that hotels are going to be used by Labour for a few more years to come, despite promising he will stop doing that. It's going to get worse. Our Home Secretary, not so long ago, she was holding up a placard saying refugees welcome, and she was going to house one herself. Well, tell you what, that never happened. She didn't do that. So, what are we going to do about this? I want to know what your thoughts are in the comments. If you agree with me that it needs to stop, just click on the little red cross there if you see that. And I'm just going to leave you with this one thought. If a man goes to war, he goes to war on his own. If a man is fleeing persecution, he takes his family with him.
A serious question. Why should British taxpayers fund those who give nothing back? Nobody can explain to me why the British taxpayer should be forced to financially support foreign nationals who don't speak English, don't work, don't integrate, don't contribute, and don't even like us. Why the are we funding them? Let's get one thing straight. Welfare exists to support British people. People who've worked, paid in, and contributed to this country. It was never designed to be an open pot of gold for people who turn up, refuse to assimilate, and expect handouts while showing nothing but contempt for the country that's feeding them. What would happen if you moved abroad and demanded free housing, free healthcare, and financial support without working or even learning the language? You'd be told off. So why does Britain put up with it? Why do our own people struggle with the cost of living while taxes are funneled into supporting people who don't even want to be part of this society? Look, this isn't about race. It's not about where someone comes from. It's about fairness. It's about responsibility. If you come here, you should contribute, work, pay taxes, integrate, respect British values. Otherwise, why should you be entitled to a penny of British taxpayers' money? It's simple. Either benefit the British people and this country, or off. Sorry, excuse my French. Very un-British of me. What I mean is, off. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and follow for more news, views and uncomfortable truths.
Breaking news, the UK has come top of the polls for illegal migration. According to a study from Oxford University, there are some 745,000 illegal migrants in the United Kingdom. Gosh, that's a lot. And that may well be an underestimate. The UK apparently has far more people in the United Kingdom who are here illegally than other European countries. Why is this? Probably because the UK doesn't count the people in and count the people out. Secondly, because a huge number of people overstay their visas. Thirdly, because the Home Office doesn't bother to remove anybody. Last year, about 8,000 people suffered enforced removal. 8,000 people a year, and we've got 800,000 illegals. They're never going home. They might all have an amnesty and let them stay.
The reason that the UK is taking so many immigrants is not because they're trying to be good people or anything like that. And I can't believe that the bigoted people in the UK still don't understand why the UK is bringing in so many immigrants. Literally has to do with the UK trying to eliminate middle class. They literally just want to have rich people and poor people. They don't want to have a middle. And immigrants is exactly how they're going to do it, because they're going to bring in these people from third world countries that will accept very low salaries and work very long hours and will do the jobs that British people in the UK would never do. And because they're accepting these minuscule wages, they will be making the rich people so much money. Have you ever seen a rich British person ever complain about immigrants? They would never complain about it because they know at the end of the day it's going to benefit them.
This is something ministers do not want you to know about, but I think I've stumbled on a real explanation for why this Labour government is doing nothing to try to curb the thousands of people crossing the channel illegally every month. More than 1,000 in January alone, a 30% increase in the last year. Because tucked away in the government's new borders, security, asylum and immigration bill is the revelation that they're going to overturn all the Tories' attempts to stop legal migrants coming here and claiming settled status, which could then lead to them claiming British citizenship. Labour are going to quietly try to reverse that. They've got a huge majority of 165, so they'll be able to do it. What it means is all those people crossing the channel, even when their asylum claims are rejected, or even if they're not rejected, they will eventually say they've been here so long they can claim settled status, British citizenship, and you know what's coming next? And then they'll probably be able to apply to get the vote. Penny dropped, so let all these people pour in and they'll be very grateful. So when they do get to become British citizens and they get the vote, they'll vote Labour. We found you out, Keir Starmer.
If you want one video to summarise what's wrong with the UK, just watch this.
What's the reason for coming today?
I'm outraged that they think this is okay.
Yeah. What do you think they believe in?
I think that they're scared, probably.
Do they have a right to be scared?
No, absolutely not. Who are you scared of?
I mean, there's been
scared of?
Well, I mean, there's
How can they be scared of people who have got nothing? Wouldn't you be running from civil wars, climate change? Wouldn't you expect people to welcome you?
Of course, I mean, we should live in a society that's, everyone's welcome, but at the same time, there's got to be surely some security risk with unknown people.
Why are you leading me into this?
That's just a general question.
Why don't you go and start a demonstration about homelessness?
Absolutely. I know why I'm here.
Jesus Christ. I don't know whether this woman is just completely oblivious or is just fucking stupid. But if you don't think the current rate of net migration is a problem, you don't think the NHS waiting times are a problem, illegal immigrants hanging around outside of primary schools isn't a problem, staff at hotels getting stabbed with screwdrivers isn't a problem, our tax money being spent on 4-star hotels, driving lessons and phones for people who have never worked a day in their life for this country or paid 1 penny of tax is a problem, then you need your fucking head checking. Also, a lot of these people coming to the UK pass through many countries with settlement programs, including France. Why? Because they know the UK is a soft touch and they'll get everything handed to them on a plate. Also, who the fuck is fleeing anywhere because of climate change? I've heard it fucking all now. And you having the audacity to tell people that they have no right to be scared whilst campaigning for other people's rights. Fucking hypocrite. This is just pure stupidity at its finest. Take these people into your fucking house if you don't like it that much. Fuck's sake. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Right, I'm going to say something that's quite controversial. Well, I don't think it is. I think I'm just saying what everybody else is thinking. But people are sadly, because we live in a communist country, too scared to say. Illegal immigration costs to the UK last year. I mean, who'd have thought? We know it's high, but Jesus Christ. So, immigration enforcement, well, that's a joke. Enforcement, they're the people that are supposed to keep them out. They're the people that are supposed to stop the boats. 482 million pounds to keep them out, or to get them back if they've got here illegally. They should all be fined for a start. Accommodation expenses, 2.92 billion. Yep, not million, billion. That was last year. So just for some historical context, I'm reading this because I've just been looking at it. I nearly fell off my chair. In 2024, asylum costs reached £3.96 billion, which is double the previous year and is a six-fold increase since 2018. I mean, it's just not sustainable. How the frig are we expected to keep finding this money? I mean, what the fuck? It's just... Nah, it's not, I'm not happy. Along with half the fricking country at the moment, this has to stop, surely.
Alright people, I just want to share this with you. I got sent a video yesterday by someone who described themselves as a massive Labour supporter, right? And they sent me a video of a hotel being emptied of illegal immigrants. Because apparently Labour are trying to get them all out of hotels to save some cost. Obviously, he was sending this to me as a positive for Labour and all that. The video's been taken down, so I can't actually share it with you, but I did a little bit of research. I'm not allowed to tell you the hotel name because my video will get taken down. Suffice it to say it was a Best Western hotel. And I found out that actually the people who were removed from the Best Western hotel, the illegal immigrants that were in there, haven't been deported. They've been removed to an HMO in a little town just down the road. So they're out of hotels and they're now next door to people in HMOs. Nice work here, well done.
This is Dave Thomas. He stood here in his back garden, and what you see behind him is accommodation for illegal immigrants. No wonder he looks so pissed off. Wouldn't you be with that at the end of your garden? I mean, it's literally like having people you have no idea about, apart from the fact that they floated across the channel on a boat. No idea about their culture, beliefs or intentions, living at the bottom of your garden, peering directly into your garden. This is in Llantwit Major, a seaside town in South Wales. This is what the government are doing now, building shanty towns in our towns and communities. Marvellous. And under Labour, we'll see a lot more of these monstrosities popping up all over the country. They'll fast-track illegals through the asylum system and stick them in accommodation that looks like it's something out of Prisoner Cell Block H, right at the end of your garden. I mean, look at it. It's awful. We're just creating third world ghettos, no-go areas and parallel societies. This is still further proof, as if you needed further proof, that the government couldn't care less about the British people. Or is this acceptable? Let me know in the comments and follow for more news, views and uncomfortable truths.
Okay, let's talk about the facts then. Ireland, young and middle-aged men are grouping together, young Irish men, and patrolling their own streets at night to keep women safe from, you guessed it, illegal immigrants who are being put up for free in hotels, who are being given free food, free Wi-Fi, free clothes. They all turn out to be wearing brand new designer clothes, and still they come into the country and can't help themselves but harass women and children on the streets, because when you're fleeing poverty and war, when you go into a country who gives you everything, how do you show respect? You disrespect the people that live there in the first place, and you bring all the horrors from your country to the new place. Now, I must say, I'm so impressed and proud of all the Irish people who I'm seeing group together and go out onto the streets, because that's the only way we're going to be able to keep people safe, because the police aren't going to do nothing. Do you know what the police are going to do? They're going to say you are committing a hate crime by telling these illegal immigrants that they can't do this to women and children. These people who are coming here think that this is okay. They think it's a normal way to behave, to treat people. Women are lesser in their countries. That's not how we do things here. I'm sorry about that. The only thing I would say is, why aren't we doing it over here? Because the Irish boys are doing it and it's working from what I've seen. So we should all be doing this. We should all be going out onto the streets at night time. And if you see something, don't be scared of being called a racist or having the police gang up on you. Say something. to the people that are doing it. That's the only way this is going to stop, because let me tell you, no one's coming to help us. The government aren't coming to help us. The police force are against us. Trust me, you may think that the police can't do anything. No one is putting a gun to their heads and saying you have to follow these rules. If I was in a job where I was being told that, I have to stop people from being safe and look after a certain demographic, I would quit the job, because the police's one job is to keep people safe. So if you are not keeping people safe for whatever reason, quit, because you have no reason to be doing that job. Anyone who is still enforcing these barbaric rules from Keir Starmer, you are part of the problem. So the police won't help us, the government won't help us, we have to help ourselves. Now, I'm not saying vigilante justice, I'm not saying go and hurt anyone or do anything like that, but I am saying look after people, look after your own people. If you see something wrong, go and speak about it. We need to show the world what is happening in England, because it's not good.
The UK is being invaded and the government are doing nothing about it. 2 British Army companies worth of migrants crossed the British Channel yesterday. 656 of them. Arriving from France, a safe country, but will claim asylum in the UK nonetheless. 656 is 40% of the birth rate on an average day in Britain. How much longer is this going to keep happening? Millions of British people live in desperate poverty and can't even afford to look after their own families. Yet £5 billion was spent on asylum seekers last year alone. But there is never any money left for British people. The NHS is overwhelmed, schools are full, and roads are crumbling. How much longer will this be brushed under the carpet? How much longer will people keep blaming the Tories? Labour have been in power for 9 months now, and it just keeps getting worse. And the hundreds of millions of pounds that we give to France to stop the crossings, guess what? They're helping them, giving them their life jackets, and then having the cheek to ask for them back. Britain is an absolute mess. Let me know what you think of this in the comments.
Yo, some massive UK immigration news has just dropped. Our PM Keir Starmer has made some big changes. So now people will have to wait 10 years to apply for citizenship. Let's break down the details. So before, in the UK, migrants would have to wait 5 years to apply for a UK citizenship, and Keir Starmer has just doubled that to 10 years. But there is still a way of fast-tracking through to citizenship. Have a look at this. So the Labour government is calling this a contributions system. So if you are an NHS worker, a doctor, a nurse, an engineer, or very good with AI, or you pay a serious amount of tax, and you will be fast-tracked to get citizenship within the UK. Now, personally, I don't think this is a bad way of doing it. Starmer's plan is to cut net migration. So last year we saw 728,000 in terms of net migration, and he also is saying that he wants to stop all illegal crossings by boat into our country. But many critiques and experts are saying this plan won't work, and here's why. Now, my question that I want answers to is, if people are allowed to be here at the moment for 5 years before getting their citizenship, then are they going to be here for the whole 10 years whilst waiting for citizenship? Because if they are, that's only going to cost us to house these people, to help them find jobs, to help them learn English, and to help them get out into the real world, to pay taxes. But 10 years is an awful long time to be spending the taxpayers' money just to find out if people are willing to work or not. Let me know your opinions down below in the comments. This is splitting the public view, and personally, I don't really know what to think about it. I have to say, I do like the fact that Keir Starmer and Labour are finally looking like they're doing something about it. However, is this just in response to Reform doing so well in the local elections? And are they now waking up to the fact that people want change? Let me know in the comments.
So there's a guy I know who also trots out this line, the idea that there is illegal immigration and legal immigration, and that the riots of the past few weeks are born not of violence, not of racism, and not of bigotry, but a simple, almost innocent disagreement about this country's migration policy. So come on, Alice, let's go down the rabbit hole, shall we? So as a signatory of the UN's Refugee Convention, the UK has said in law that it is not illegal for anyone to come to the border and claim asylum. So whether they arrive by plane, train, or ferried across the English Channel by human traffickers, a person does not break any laws by telling border security, I am a refugee and I'm here to claim asylum. So they then undergo a rigorous and lengthy screening process. This is designed to confirm their identities and pore over the details of their stories. And these things have to add up. If there is even one hair out of place, the application is rejected, and the applicant is then asked to provide more information or clarification on a particular point. But this is about as far away from a rubber stamp method as you can get. And if the person's asylum claim is approved, they are usually granted a 5-year visa, after which they can apply for indefinite leave to remain. But if it gets rejected and they aren't granted an appeal, then they are deemed to have been an overstayer, and then they must leave the country. Of all the asylum applications processed in 2023, 66% were approved, and 33% were either rejected or withdrawn. And it's also true that of the 70% of all refugees in the world, they usually go to neighbouring countries. And of the total number, only 3% of refugees worldwide claim asylum in the United Kingdom. So if we put aside the mechanics of the application process, the questions we should be asking are, number one, does the Home Office have enough funding and resources to process applications? Number two, what resources are needed to help those who are granted asylum integrate into their communities? And number three, how are we going to measure whether these processes are actually working? Because the reality is that in the 74 years the Refugee Convention has been in place, not a single country has ever withdrawn from it. So it defines a key part of how the UK engages with the world, and it's too damn important to hope that it just sorts itself out. So in short, we've got a lot of work to do, and I hope that Sir Keir and his government are rolling up their sleeves.
And while the government plays dumb and the media gaslights the nation, ordinary Brits are left to pick up the pieces. Illegal immigrants getting housed, fed and protected, while you struggle to pay rent, see a GP, or get your kid into a decent school. They say resources are stretched, but somehow there's always room when it's not for you. Britain feels broken, and those in charge don't seem to care. If you're done being pushed to the back of the queue in your own country, subscribe, drop a comment, and join the rant. Because if we don't speak up now, no one else will.